The first thing my mother said when the verdict was read wasn't "I'm sorry." It was, "You ruined this family." But she was wrong, because this family was ruined long before the judge ever said guilty. When betrayal runs in your blood, justice isn't revenge, it's survival. For years, I lived in the same small town my grandmother built her home in, a 2-story old brick house that smelled of jasmine and smoke. When my father passed away, the family began leaning on me. Bills, repairs, emotional support. I was the invisible backbone holding everyone together. Every time my sister called crying, I sent money. Every time my mother said she needed me, I showed up. But behind the thank yous, there was something else. Unspoken envy and entitlement. They never said it out loud, but I could feel it. My success wasn't something they celebrated, it was something they resented. Sometimes I wondered if being the strong one was a curse. My sister, fragile and always needing comfort, seemed to draw Mom's tenderness in a way I never could. Maybe it started when Dad left. Mom saw her own pain mirrored in my sister's tears. Whenever I got sick, I was told to stop fussing. But if my sister so much as sniffled, Mom would hold her all night. Sometimes I thought, maybe Mom needed to be needed. And maybe because I always handled things myself, became the daughter impossible to rescue. It hurt, but the real ache was knowing I never truly understand why a mother's love can feel so uneven. In every family, there are shadows only the heart can see. The truth, they didn't want my help. They wanted what was mine. It started small. Paperwork missing from my desk, a strange withdrawal from our shared savings account, my mother insisting, "It's just an error, dear." Then one morning, a letter arrived from the local bank, addressed to me but sent to my mother's house. Notice of property evaluation for sale. My chest tightened. Property evaluation? I hadn't listed anything. That's when I found it. The signature. Perfectly forged. Mine. I called my lawyer friend Jonathan. He told me what I never wanted to hear. "Elena, they're trying to sell your inheritance property without your consent." I knew I couldn't just confront them. Not yet. So I started recording. Every phone call, every casual dinner conversation, every offhand excuse my mother gave about handling things. Days turned into weeks. I discovered she had taken a $70,000 loan against the house, my grandmother's house, the one meant to ensure my future. And then she told me she was planning to gift it to my sister. A gift, she said, like my years of hard work, sacrifice, and loyalty were just a form of charity they could take away. I finally confronted her. At her kitchen table, she was sipping coffee from her favorite blue mug. I said, "Mom, I know about the forged signature." She didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled, like she'd been waiting for this. "Oh, Jaime," she said softly, "family helps family." I said, "You mean steals from them?" Her face hardened. You owe us. Everything you have came from this family. I realized then it wasn't about money. It was about control. So I told her I was taking her to court. She laughed. Then she said words that would echo in my mind for months. You think they'll believe you over me. That was the moment I stopped being the victim. The hearing took hours, evidence after evidence, voice recordings, transaction statements, verified signatures. My lawyer presented everything. Then came the confession, a letter written in my mother's own handwriting, uncovered from my grandmother's lawyer's files. My eldest doesn't need the house. She's already doing well. Let it go to the younger one. But my grandmother never signed it. She died before that letter could exist. The room went silent. The judge removed his glasses, leaned forward, and said, "The court finds the property transfer invalid. Full ownership is granted to Elena." Justice. For once, I didn't cry. I just breathed. Months passed. I sold the house. I couldn't bear to live in it anymore. But the money wasn't the real victory. It was the silence. No more calls demanding help. No more guilt trips. Just peace. Sometimes losing a family isn't a tragedy. It's a liberation. I still think of her sometimes. I wonder if she regrets it. But then I remember, some people don't regret their choices. They regret getting caught. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, you already know it doesn't just break you, it shapes you. Because revenge isn't about hurting them, it's about proving you can survive without them.